Hello guys, what's up? I am GojiFan98's and welcome back for another new video for today. Today I'm going to continue on for the next episode of GojiFan98's Kong-A-Thon. Today I'm going to take a look at of 2005 remake of the original film of 1933 remake one, which is Peter Jackson's King Kong 2005, which is my all-time favorite King Kong movie and my first King Kong movie. I first saw it in theater. Everything all about in this film is just awesome. Alright, so the DVD copy I got here is the Deluxe Extended Edition, which is featured in about more than 13 minutes, never before seen footage. Was all featured some scene that was never been seen before from the theatrically cut. So, Peter Jackson's King Kong 2005 remake. What can I say about this one? Let's talk about its history of the story, which I will tell you from this John May's book, Kong-A-May, The Lost Film of Skull Island, which has a development story for Peter Jackson's King Kong remake. You see, it was, it all began in development stage in 1995. This is the first time King Kong movie be back in action in live action films since after King Kong Lives, with Peter Jackson's intent to direct the film, when the 96 version was in the development until they temporarily canceled the project and they put it on shelf for later until Universal Pictures later got the rights for King Kong character, until Peter Jackson and another personnel who wrote the script together decided to rewrote the story to make it something totally different, which it ended up bringing the new cast was joined in was Naomi Watts, who plays Aunt Darrell in the film, with Jack Black as Carl Devon, and Adrian Brody portrays Jack character. That's a pretty interesting idea. And we got the actor who plays Brooks Baxter, who will later appears in two of MonsterVerse Godzilla movie, in Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, playing as Mark Russell. This is way before he's in the Godzilla movie. And this is his first time he was appearing in the King Kong movie. Speaking of Kong, King Kong was portraying a motion capture was a computer generated by Andy Skirtz, who also portrayed as Lumbee character in the film, as a double duty. Kind of like in the way Haru Nakajima plays a double role while he's playing as a monster, between always going to show his face to his appearance and cameo. That's one thing he does. So, the movie, when the movie was in pre-production, well, before post-production, Naomi Watts met the original actress who portrays Aunt Darrell to have to prepare to portray the role as Aunt Darrell, but Peter Jackson wanted to consider to have that actress to make a cameo appearances, but she sadly died way before the film began, as during the pre-production. So the movie gave a lovely memory to her. So in the film, like in the original movie, it featured dinosaurs, but this is something that's totally different that Peter Jackson remaking it to make something cool. He added mosquitoes in the film, and he also used the idea for the scrap idea of the original King Kong plot story with the original spider pit sequence. He brought it back in this one with a new version that added bugs and the smog, or whatever these things call. I just can't remember what those things are. And one of my favorite parts in this movie of Peter Jackson's King Kong movie is where Brooks Baxter enters his room when he noticed all his posters were all have a drawing mustache like all over his poster of his character. Until he noticed look at it that got him something perfect for him. He used his hair comb to do this. Yeah, this is one of my favorite things about this guy. Bruce is just really great guy, and the actor who plays him, I give this guy 10 out of 10 for the best actor, for my opinion. King Kong design in the film looks very amazing. He had a scar on his chest, the way he was... Well, it was pretty good. The music was composed by James Howard. He did an amazing job to compose the movie. Adrian Brody did amazing portrays Jack, but the Jack character, this version of Jack in the remake one, he was rather than be as a crew member of the boat, he's actually a screenplay writer for Carl Devins' project for the movie he was working on it. And Jack Black, his performer as Carl, did amazing. Throughout the movie, I was looking at the way he just does not care what's going on. He was just like being a villain. Until at the end, then he slowly redeemed himself for what have he just done. When Kong got loose out of New York after he brought into civilization, of course. Some guys like Carl never learn. Like some said, some guys never learn. In the remake, like in the original movie, Kong climbed up the Empire State Building, and this time they're deployed 6 planes to try to take Kong down. Kong only took down 3 planes until he dies when he fell after he dies. There was supposed to be going to be attended a sequel titled Skull Island, was intended to release in 2007, with Peter Jackson going to be as producer, and had a new director, Adam Wingard, attend to direct it. But unfortunately, this project was abandoned when Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures got to acquire a rights for King Kong to make an appearance for the second entrance in MonsterVerse, Kong Skull Island. But later, Adam Wingard will later tend to finally get his chance directing King Kong movie, which Godzilla vs. Kong, which was demanded by fans for waiting for 59 years for a remake of King Kong vs. Godzilla since 1962, back in 2021. And the actor who plays Bruce will later appear in 2 of MonsterVerse films, Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, plays Mark Russell. It was so great to have a nice performer actor we know in the previous movie Dick came back to appear as more giant monster film. Now let's think about that. What if Jack Black could make an appearance in MonsterVerse? I wonder what next his performer he's going to be in. Well, we don't know that yet. And yes, this would be once again to be another temporarily break from the live-action King Kong movie, again until 2017's Kong Skull Island. And like I said, this Peter Jackson's King Kong movie, this is my first Kong movie. I first saw it when I was a kid, when it came out in theater. The one that I saw was the theatrically cut. And when I got it on DVD sometime later on, I got the extended cut version. I like the extended version better than theatrically cut. You see, this is the one thing I hate about different versions. They always chop some scene to make it a limited edition for a theater release until they decide to put it together on the extended edition. That's one thing I always hated about it all the time. To make something different. I know they do that, maybe possibility not to show that for some scene that is not going to be shown for kids. I know they do that all the time. Well, that's all I have to say for Peter Jackson's King Kong movie. Stay tuned to the next episode. I'll review the final animated Kong movie for another Kong movie tied in for the Kong the animated series. Kong Return to the Jungle, which is that setup a standalone sequel to Kong the animated series. Stay tuned for that, and I will always stay with GojiFans and GojiFan98's. I will always be here for more and do more videos in the future. So yeah, so stay with GojiFans as always. So remember, my friends, and stay King Kong fans. Bye.